Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm using a paint and water combination, and I'm also using some blues, greys and silvers. I've got two canvases, so I'm going to do a diptych, and I really want to just have a little bit of fun. I'm going to puddle the paints on the canvas, use my blow dryer to blow it out, and I can't wait to see if we can create some cells. In fact, I know we're going to create some cells with just paint and water, because I'm using a metallic. So, are you ready to paint with me? Let's see what we can create. So here's my colour palette. You'll see that I'm using some different brands. So I'm using an Amsterdam, a Winsor & Newton, Pebeo and a Daler Rowney System 3 acrylic. So all of those brands, all of those paint brands will combine together, and the silver's going to help create some cells. This is my most favourite colour that I'm using today. I love that blue-black iridescent, and that goes really well with that silver. These two colours are also going to be added, and this is my consistency. Just paint and water, a 1-to-1 ratio. Trickles off the spatula and disappears. So let's start puddling the paints on the canvas, and I'm going to just take one colour at a time. I'm going to start with the canvas that you can see on the right hand side, but the idea is to do a diptych so the designs kind of go into one, and I really want to create a view where you look at one of the canvases and you kind of think, what's through there? And then the other canvas is almost like looking back on itself, and it's like you've gone through a vortex. So that's the idea in my head. Let's see if we can get that idea onto the canvas. So let's continue to puddle the paints in the middle of the canvas, and then I'll use my blow dryer to blow the paints from the middle to the outer edge. I'm loving this palette, and I'm just going to end with this one using the iridescent silver. So that's in the middle. So I'm happy with the paints on that canvas. I'm now going to move over to the canvas that you can see here on the left hand side, and I'm just going to puddle those differently. I don't want them to mirror each other, but I want to use the same colours but do it slightly differently. So for this one, I think I'm going to end with a blue. So the blue is in the centre. So we've got the blue in the centre on one canvas and the silver in the centre on the other canvas. I'm using my torch now to pop all the air bubbles. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my blow dryer. My blow dryer is always on a cool setting and the lowest blow speed. So let's start with this first canvas here. I'm going to aim the hairdryer in the middle, and then I'm just going to blow from the middle to the outer edges. You can see here how that paint and water combination is helping to create those cells. You can see those cells formulating, and that's because I'm using a range of different brands and I'm using a metallic, I'm using that silver. But cells are basically created because of the densities of the paints. So you don't always need a cell activator, like a titanium white mixed with an Australian Floetrol, to create that cell or that lacing effect. If you learn about the densities of your paints and combine those with different brands, that can really help you create cells as well with just a paint and water combination. So I'm happy with this one and how that's going. So I'm now going to focus on the other canvas on the left hand side. And again, it's just going to work from the center, blowing out from the center to the outer edges. And it's just about taking your time, looking at how that paint moves, looking at how those colors infuse together. If you're enjoying the video, please give it a thumbs up and a like. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And I always ask that because that really helps me push this video out across YouTube. It helps other people discover my channel, especially if they're interested in this type of art form. And then they can join us along this journey and help us create what we create. So a big thank you for that. So remember, if there's anything you want to also ask me, drop that in the comments below or drop me an email. So I'm just going to continue blowing the paints out. I'm going to tweak some of the composition and I'm also just going to touch up the edges with my finger. I'm so happy with how this turned out, and I really do feel that this is a great duo. I feel like I can look at one of the canvases and think, what's through that vortex? And as I go through that vortex, I can look back on myself and see what's behind me. And that's what really represents these two pieces. I'm using my torch just to pop any existing air bubbles, and I'm going to take you in now for a closer look at the wet version. I'll leave them to dry and I'll take you in for a closer look at the dry version. And here's the dry version. I love this pair of canvases, and I love that on the left you've got the silver in the middle, and on the right you've got the blue. So let me take you in now for each of these canvases so you can see how they've dried. You can see here how that metallic has mixed with those other colours to create those cells. I really love the detail in this one, and I love how those blue tones really bring you in and draw you into the centre. So I'm just going to leave you with some of these details, but a big thank you as always for your support. It's so great to have you here. And if you try something like this yourself, especially with that paint and water combination, let me know if you get the cells that you want. Let me know how you're working on your creations and what colour palettes you're also working on. I'm feeling the need for some colour palette inspiration. So drop me some comments below. Let me know what colours are your favourites, and I'm going to see if I can work out a colour palette to do for the future. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a great week ahead. And I really hope I get to see you again in the next video. Take care everyone, and see you soon. Bye.